Homage to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. One of the things that is very prevalent at the moment are views. Lots and lots and lots of views. And one of the things that is really important as Dhamma practitioners, people that lean towards the Buddha's teaching, lean towards Nibbana, is to remember one really, really important thing. Only Nibbana is the truth. It's the only thing that provides the permanency. It's the only thing that provides supreme happiness. If you take refuge in Buddha and the Arahants, all the ones that have walked before us, the noble ones, they are always telling us that there is only Nibbana. Everything else is death-bound. Everything else is sliding. Everything else is burning. Burning with greed, burning with hatred, burning with delusion. So right now, what seems to be burning very, very brightly is greed, hatred, and delusion. And particularly delusion. Many of us, whether we're in Dhamma or not in Dhamma, we are attaching to many, many views. Views about the world. Too much attention, refuge in the world. It's only natural for that to happen. But this is a strong reminder to wake up, to not take refuge in the world. It can only bring unhappiness. And one of the deep problems about wrong views, or many, many views, is that they're corrupted. They're corrupted from what? They're corrupted from a sense of permanency, that these views last, that they're fixed, that they're right. They're also views that are embedded in me and mine. This is my view, I'm right, you're wrong, or we're right, you're wrong. You attach to groups, and then it's very, very polarizing. And so you always come back to feeling with it, because what you seek out of it, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, or neither pleasant nor unpleasant, it all results in dukkha, mental pain, sadness, sorrow, and then we lament. At this time, really investigate and try to get yourself out of it very, very quickly. If you are a student of the Buddha, then the easiest way is to ask yourself, am I taking something outside of Nibbana as me and mine, as truth? And if you're really honest, then the answer is always yes. So if the mind is imbued with politics, if the mind is imbued with medicine and science, if the view is imbued with the current global crisis, whether it's economic or pandemic, if the mind is imbued with all the problems in our lives, whether they're relationships or money, or to do with our jobs or livelihood, to do with our children, our loved ones, most of it we think is very, very true, but they're only relative truths. The ultimate truth comes back to Nibbana. So when you ask this question, am I taking anything outside of Nibbana as me and mine? The answer is usually yes. And we need to snap out of it. We need to come out of taking refuge in the world. It only makes things worse. It only brings more sadness, more sorrow, more lamentation. And so when we speak to each other, it's from that place of sadness and sorrow and lamentation. We go on and on about dukkha, not comprehending in those moments, despite whether we're a good meditator, good practitioner or not. We've fallen from the right path. So it's very important to keep asking ourselves that question and to not keep grabbing onto fixed views, views that are going against the Buddha's teaching. And the truth is we all fall for it. We fall for false narratives. We read the news, we read articles, we listen to what people say, we listen to experts, we listen to non-experts, we listen to all these voices that are not the Buddha, that are not noble arahants, and we take what they say as truth. We go and research even, and we try and find out. But if we're really honest about that process of even our own research, we realize there is no answer to this. We can't prove anything about very much at all. What we can do is to recognize that What the Buddha says is true, that this body does age. It is subject to sickness. There is death. That is truth. And even when it comes to medicine, science, all these things, they do their best, but they can't overcome aging, sickness, and death, not permanently. And so when you know this, you realize you can't find the answer in the world. So we must come out of the world. We must guard our minds from the polarization, from the confusion, from the delusion, from the hatred. And we don't try and fix it with greed. We try and tolerate this time without acquiring anything. Don't fuel the mind. Don't fuel through this process by burning more. Don't burn with the eye. Don't burn with the ear. Don't burn with the nose. Don't burn with the tongue. Don't burn with this body. And don't burn in the mind. Allow the fires to go towards Nibbana, to peter out. Don't keep putting fuel into the fire. So that applies to what we listen to what we see and look at in the news and wherever. And this applies to all the different things, when we talk to people. It's best to not fuel these things, not to talk about theories, not to talk about false narratives that are on the side of delusion. Let them go. Understand they will never be resolved. You'll never find the true answer in that. So it's an encouragement with kindness. We are all suffering at the moment. We all have a great deal of pain. Some of us physical pain, some of us a lot of mental pain. This is one way to come out of it, to use it as a reminder. Am I taking something outside of Nibbana as me and mine? If the answer is yes, let it go. Abandon it. See it as danger. Blessings of the Triple Gem. Wishing you well. Theruwan saranai.